Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am in a gremlin mode. Today is my day off and I've decided to treat today as a cleaning day. I'm slightly doing some prepping for my upcoming show in 3 weeks, which is the Great Canadian Halloween Market in Mississauga. So stoked for it. I thought it's time to give you guys who have been following me for some time an update on my garden. And if you're new here, hi. I started gardening for the first time ever back in like mid-April for some weird reason. And then it accumulated a lot more in May, near the end of May. And then by the time June came around, it settled down a bit because I'm like, I have enough plants. I'm good where we're standing. So now that I've given you guys like a month or two off of like my obsession of plants, I'm pretty sure you guys are curious of like how they're doing, and I kind of want to show you guys the progress of my plants. Let's start off with the tour of the ones over here. But like we're gonna make a little quick stop right here because I've done some like rearranging that I'm pretty happy with. So, the cacti, I have put them all together in this little planter. Well, it's actually not little, it's pretty lengthy, but it's a small planter. But these cacti, I've had them here since last year. So, I don't know why this didn't trigger me last year to do more gardening, but I got these back at Sunfest, I think. Yeah, it's been a while. So they've actually been growing a lot more since I've taken them out from the house and put them over here. They usually are indoor, but I put them out here now into this planter. And as you can tell, this part has been growing for the last month or so. It actually was like here and now it's up to here. This one is starting to grow more, and I find this one a little funky, but I appreciate you. And then that's my best friend's son. He recently just turned 1, and that's what was on top of his cupcake. So he is the guardian of my cacti plants. This little mini succulent plant hasn't really been growing. That's as far as it's gonna grow from all the research I've done. And then we recently just got this back in May. I think this was, I want to say this was my last cacti, but it isn't. But she's been doing good. She's been doing her own thing. I don't know if she's grown. I haven't really noticed. This one I can definitely tell. But she's been good, and I really like the setup here. And then I bought this silver. Oh God, I gotta remember all my plant names. I think this is called a silver leaf, but she was in a planter, and then I have all the pictures. They're more of like a hanging kind of plant. So, but I got this planter when I was vending at the Daughters of the Black Moon Market back in June. I want to say it's June. I think it's in June. But she's been growing. This part here was actually hanging like down here, and I recently just noticed she has raised her arms up. She's doing really well. I love her in front of my house like this. When winter comes around, I can just like hang her on this window here, but we'll see about that. And now we're gonna head to over this area now. It's actually really cool today that I don't need the AC on. I've been kind of using my new AC as a shelf for my plant. I don't think it's bad. If you say it's bad, let me know in the comments, but it's not blocking any of the ventilation out here. And honestly, what is it? Axelis, or however you pronounce it, she has been thriving right there. So here she is. She's not growing up because she is moving towards the sun, because they require, I think, they require low light tolerant, but more sun, darker leaves. But she's been staying dark this entire time while sitting here. I do have to prune her though, because we've got some like discarded flowers that have bloomed and no longer here. So I have to do it, but every time I water or garden her, there's always new ones growing in. Always. I think that's awesome. She barely had anything when I got her, and now she's just full. And then we have Hank, which I now know is Thanksgiving cactus. I read the title wrong, but we all call him Hank. He was living in this skull planter that I bought from Heavy Petal, and I noticed, like, I know it's kind of deep and all, and it was a nice planter, but I felt like Hank wasn't thriving. So I moved Hank into this planter. I know it looks a little bit big, but he's gonna be in there for a long time. But the next day or so after I put him in here, he was thriving. Like, these are not droopy anymore. They're actually standing up. This part, however, I don't know what's going on. Oh, it fell. But I'm holding on to this piece, hoping that it will recover soon. But yeah, like, I clipped up the dead stuff around this area, and by feeling him, he's really strong. So that came out really inappropriate. But I mean, like, if this one kind of recovers, it's just hanging on by a root, that little weird one on the side. But that's fine. They always end up growing more anyway. So I'm happy that he's doing a lot better. Here's my pumpkin. She's like doing her own thing. She had leaves, but they kept dying or being really badly kind of, I wouldn't say infected, but apparently she grows bugs, and they're like white little bugs with eggs at the back, and they just deteriorated the leaves. So they said online and on forums, like, just chop them off because it prevents them from being spread. Now, I don't get this. These flowers will bloom, barely bloom, I should say, and then they fall off. So I don't know what's going on, but we're in August, and I'm hoping to have a pumpkin by October. It doesn't look promising. Here is Metalweed. I don't know what's going on with this girl. I've been putting you out in front of the sun, and you are still going green. You were all red and purple. Because it does say right here, direct sun, and I was told that if I put you in direct sun, you will flourish into all red or purple. Where is it? Honestly, it doesn't really matter. I really, really like this plant. She was one of the first plants I bought from Heavy Petal, and I'm cherishing her as long as I can. So this cacti I've had also since last year or the year before. She's been growing beautifully, and I love her, and I can't wait to see her grow big. She actually has gotten a lot bigger because she's now starting to tip a little bit. The reason why I put her in a separate planter is because she can grow up to 8 feet tall. I did not know that, so I just put her in there, and then she's been flourishing. I've been thinking about doing that with these, put them in their own planters, because I feel like they'll grow better if they were in their own planter, unlike the little succulent here and this guy. And I didn't realize from gardening that if you put a small plant into a big planter, they focus on expanding their roots than themselves. So I wonder if, because I put her in there and then these ones in there, they're gonna worry about the space of this planter, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just learning things as I go. We have my Velvet Queen sunflower and my regular sunflower. They're having, I don't know, they're taking their sweet time. I don't know, maybe I'm too late to getting them to bloom for the summer. I don't know, but they just keep getting taller and taller and taller, so they just stay here. I have been pruning them a little bit because of the leaves being you know, diseased or just not healthy. So I've been doing that, but they're looking good. We're still waiting. This was my calla lilies. They did bloom. I'm really sad that I did not get a picture of her and all, but they're done, I guess, because they curled back and no longer looking pretty. So I'm gonna have to ask my mom what happens when they bloom. Like, what do they do? Do they just hibernate until next year? Because, you know, I'm new to this. She was pretty, and now she's in hermit mode, I guess. These are my new cacti plants. Mother of millions, now that I actually know the term of my cacti. She has been growing. I actually pruned her roughly 2 weeks ago, I think. More in the stem area over here. But she has been growing a lot more since I gotten her. She's been tipping forward more. And I realized when planting her, I did not level her in the middle, so she's been kind of hanging like that. And then this one's is my newest one, and this one is the tiger jaws, which I think is pretty dope. Actually, this part right here has been growing a little bit extra. She has been staying in that pink pot, and she's been flourishing ever since. Here's my blood leaf that I have been pruning and watering pretty much almost every day, every other day. Not heavily, but a little bit, because she does leak at the bottom, which is fine. It goes onto my plants. So yeah, she has been growing very slowly, but I like this planter pot that I put her in. But yeah, she's been growing a lot more. I can tell now when she's dehydrated. She looks and feels rubbery. It only happens when the AC's on full blast and it gets really humid in my sun porch. But today, she's doing really well. She doesn't feel droopy. She doesn't feel rubbery. She's actually pretty good. I don't think I need to prune her other than maybe this leaf, but some leaves have fallen. She's real pretty. And then I even got my neighbor one. Oh, she loves hers. And now we have Coleus. She's been growing and growing and growing, and she's been staying red, which is great. I kind of like these little weird patch up green parts. Wonder if that's the area that is not getting any white, but overall she has been getting light. Been pruning her. This is like growing exponentially. Sometimes you don't notice your plants are growing until you like go back and see videos. But I remember when she was just a small baby, and now she's getting big. I think by next year I'm gonna move her into a bigger planter and then maybe start putting them outside, like as well as metal weed. And when blood leaf gets bigger, I might move them to outside. I'm just always worried about critters. Let's go outside and I'll show you the biggest accomplishment I had this summer. I bought this planter probably in mid-May, June. And I put in my gladioles and what was else? Something else that was like stupidly tall. I can't remember, but they went in there. Then I put a mesh on top of it. Somehow the squirrels got into it and removed them, and then I replanted them, and then they got back into it, and now I'm really confused because they're nice planted back in, and people thought for the longest time that this was corn. Like, these two were corn. No, they're my gladioles. They're doing just fine. I guess they'll probably grow next year, so I'm just gonna leave them alone. But this one right here, this one is a weed, and it fucking hurts because look at it. those little spikes when I went to grab it the one day. But like, there's so many weeds in here. I have to take them out. Because my mommy told me if I don't, they'll take over all my other plants, and we don't want that. But this is my greatest accomplishment this summer. These are my tomato plants that I grew from the seed from the dollar store. I know, like, look how big they have gotten. Yes, there are tomatoes growing in it. I don't know what was going on with this one. It's regrowing. It's regrowing now, so I have to start pruning this today. But we've got 2 giant ones there and a split one, unfortunately. And then we have 2 others growing here, and I was a little concerned because that's all I was getting. I was only getting like 4 or 5 tomatoes, but now we've got 1 growing there, and then we've got another little one growing there, and there's 2 right there growing. Over here, there's 2 more growing, and then we have some flowers growing right there. So I'm going to assume there's going to be more coming in. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked that I'm not going to have just 4 or 5 tomatoes to harvest this summer. It's going to be like 14, 20. But I have to like move stuff around because some of the tomatoes are getting real close to the chicken wire. But you know, I haven't seen any squirrels try to climb on this and like get through them. So hopefully I can just leave it be. There's also a spider in here. He took over. I don't know how it got in here, but it did. But it kind of got at a moth, and then now it's just been eating off of the moth. So I'm gonna have to do something about that because he's going after my corners. But I know spiders are good to keep bugs out from the area. But that is it, guys. That is it for my update of my plants and my tomatoes. I'm really happy with my tomatoes. Out of all my plants, I'm extremely happy with my tomatoes, and my mom is actually really impressed that these are the same ones I grew from a seed, from a kit, from the dollar store. So next year, I'm planning on trying to grow more tomatoes, maybe some peppers, maybe some eggplants. I heard that cucumbers are the sluts in the gardens because they literally sleep with every other produce in your garden, and then it mutates them. I've seen people have like a watermelon and somehow their cucumber got into their watermelon, and it just turned out to be really, really round watermelon. Skin of a cucumber, but the insides were a watermelon. I've seen it in the gardening posts on Facebook. It's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what the cucumbers can do in your garden. So that's why you always should, you know, have a separate garden for the cucumbers. Anyways, that is it, guys, for this little update of my garden. I hope you guys liked it and was thrilled to see the progress with not only my tomatoes, but like my flowers as well. And if you guys did like this little update video of my garden, give this video a nice like. And if you want to follow me and my other social media accounts, all the links are down below in the description box as well. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to see further content, such as this, crafter stuff, vendor stuff that's coming up. I'm going to be extremely busy for the next 2 months, starting in 3 weeks. And I can't wait to bring you all for the ride. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye.